This is just from the beginning of the book, and just a little picture. Sally, a pretty, educated 48-year-old homemaker, had told no one about the violence that existed within her seemingly happy marriage. When I first met her, she was stylishly dressed in a tailored navy pantsuit, white silk blouse, with spectator pumps and handbag to match. Tiny diamond earrings glinted beneath her flowing blonde hair. A heavy gold bracelet and a remarkable string of pearls completed the picture of a woman of substantial means. But all was not well in Sally's world. Married to Ray, a highly successful businessman, she gave elegant dinner parties, only to be brutally beaten afterwards for offering some of her husband's favorite dessert for admiring guests to take home. Known for her culinary skills and ability to entertain graciously, she wryly commented on her husband's post-party attack, "This is not what Martha Stewart would have had in mind." This was a real case, and let me just give you some background about how I got into doing this at all. I was on staff at University of Chicago in psychiatry, and the watershed moment for me was a case of a professor and his wife, and she came in for marital communications issues, which is where this often gets subjugated. Upscale abuse gets put under the title of communication issues when it really should not be. Anyway, I worked with them on the communication issues, terminated the case, things were better. She came back to me 6 months later pregnant, unexpectedly pregnant, and then proceeded to tell me about the torture and abuse her husband had systematically subjected her to. And he was a well-known name in his field, as she was in the arts. He had a torture chamber in the basement. The door could only open from the outside. There were no phones. The children would be outside screaming. No one knew about this. What was shocking for me is I really prided myself on being a good diagnostician, differential diagnosis. I was obsessive. I was, type A, good personality for that. I never asked her about abuse. I had worked with abuse, but she didn't fit any picture I even thought to inquire about. So I started looking into it, and when I looked at the research, it said domestic abuse crosses all income, ethnic groups. It crosses all the groups. But when you look at the actual research, it was done on lower income families who went to the ER, who went to the shelters where numbers could be counted. So similar to the research done on breast cancer, which originally was done on middle-aged men, the research on domestic abuse was primarily on lower income families. So I decided to research it, and I wondered, is it that it happens less, or is it that it's reported less? And so I started my search for unicorns, and all kinds of wondrous things happened that presented my study for me. And I found various patterns that are in the book, patterns that are really unique to this population.